Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking into Dolly Parton's recent reflections.
Yes, specifically after the passing of her husband, Carl Dean. He died March 3rd, 2025 at 82. They were married for, what, over 60 years?
Over 6 decades, yeah. And our main source is Dolly's interview with Today, which just aired May 2nd.
That's right. And also some of her social media posts, which were very touching.
Right. So the idea here is to kind of understand Dolly's experience with this huge loss, how she's coping.
And maybe explore a bit more about their relationship itself, especially these, well, unique aspects revealed lately and from past stories.
Exactly. We want to approach this respectfully, of course, looking at love, partnership, resilience.
Dolly certainly embodies resilience.
Wow.
And those little details, those anecdotes, really paint a picture.
It's quite something, isn't it? 60 years together, it really makes you stop and think about what that actually means day to day.
It really does. Building a whole life side by side for that long, it's extraordinary.
And in her Today interview, she was quite open about the adjustment.
She called it a big adjustment.
Yeah, trying to change patterns, habits. I mean, after 60 years, it's like the whole rhythm of your life changes.
Totally. You can just imagine. And she admitted she still gets very emotional talking about it.
Which feels very real, very honest, especially for her, always being so composed in public.
But then, almost in the same breath, she says she'll be fine.
Right. And that her work helps. It gives her something positive to focus on.
Which makes sense. That sense of purpose can be, well, a real anchor when you're grieving, can it?
Definitely. But she also made it clear, she'll always miss him, always love him. It's not like the work replaces that.
No, of course not. It's acknowledging both things are true at once, the strength and the sadness.
It was interesting, though, how quickly she returned to some public things.
Yeah, like the opening of Dolly Parton's Threads, My Songs in Symphony World, and the Dollywood 40th season launch.
So soon after Carl passed. It makes you wonder, is that commitment? Or maybe part of her way of coping, sticking to routines?
Could be a bit of both, maybe. Keeping busy, being where she feels needed.
Perhaps. And then there was that moment at the Dollywood parade. The one that went viral.
Oh, with the little boy. Yeah.
His sheer joy seeing her, and then Dolly saying afterwards she just got in the van and boo-hooed. Her word.
Right. She said all the love from the crowd just sort of will open the floodgates for her own bottled-up emotions.
It's such a powerful image, isn't it? That public joy triggering such private grief.
It really shows the pressure, I think.
Yeah.
But the fan support clearly meant a lot.
Oh, definitely. She thanked everyone on Instagram, the messages, cards, flowers.
And she mentioned her faith, too, saying Carl is in God's arms and that she was okay with that, finding peace there.
It seems like faith is a big part of how she's navigating it.
And then the music, dedicating that new song, If You Hadn't Been There, to him.
That's beautiful, calling him the star of my life story.
And talking about their 60 precious and meaningful years, saying the love story never ends.
It lives on in memory, in the songs. That's a powerful way to keep that connection alive.
Absolutely. And calling him her rock. You hear that a lot. But given her career.
You really feel what that means, right? The stability he must have provided behind the scenes.
Exactly. And those lyrics she shared.
I wouldn't be here if you hadn't been there.
Holding my hand, showing you care. It's so direct, so personal.
You made me dream more than I dared. Wow, that says so much about his belief in her.
It really does.
Right.
It makes you think about how it all started for them.
Right back at the beginning. Nashville, 1964, her first day there.
Outside the wishy-washy laundromat. It sounds like a scene from a movie.
It really does, and Carl driving by in his white Chevy.
His first words. You're gonna get sunburnt out here, little lady.
So classic. Just a chance encounter, but Dolly said, I fell for him and he fell for me. Pretty instant.
She was only 18, just arrived. 5 foot tall.
And he was, what, 6'2", tan? Working with his dad paving roads. Quite the image.
Very different worlds meeting right there.
But she was cautious at first, wasn't she? Didn't get in his car straight away.
No, she invited him to her aunt and uncle's house.
That's
Smart.
But he was persistent. Came by every day for a week.
And then took her to meet his parents on their first real date. Because he just knew.
He knew she was the one. That's pretty fast. But look how it turned out.
Amazing. It makes you wonder about those gut feelings, you know?
Definitely. But getting married wasn't straightforward either. Her record label boss, Fred Foster.
Right, he advised against it. Worried about her career taking off.
Yeah, thought marriage might hold her back, but they clearly didn't listen.
Nope. They decided to elope. Ringgold, Georgia. May 30th, 1966,
With just Dolly's mom there as a witness. Very private.
which seems like it set the tone for their whole marriage, really, valuing that privacy.
They even kept the marriage a secret for a year.
Can you imagine? And she kept her maiden name, Parton, professionally.
Well, partly because of the record deal, but she joked about Dolly Dean.
The double D comment. Classic Dolly humor.
You gotta love it. That mix of being practical but also finding the humor.
Seems like that sense of humor helped them through a lot. It's also really telling about Carl's preference for privacy.
Oh, yeah, that story about the BMI Awards dinner in '66, his first and last industry event.
He went once, hated it, and basically said never again.
And apparently he meant it. He supported her completely, just not from the front row of award shows.
Which is fascinating, isn't it? Such a stark contrast. Her global fame, his quiet life.
How did they make that work for 60 years? It's incredible.
When people asked Dolly the secret, she had that funny line.
Stay gone.
Right, which always got a laugh. But she'd follow it up explaining they genuinely enjoyed the time they did have together.
And it wasn't fancy stuff, was it? She talked about simple dates.
McDonald's drive-thru in his truck, road trips. They kept going back to Ringgold where they got married.
Kept things grounded. And she loved being home, didn't she? Reading, cooking.
Taking trips in their RV. Just being normal as much as possible.
Doing late-night runs to Publix or Walmart to avoid the crowds.
You can just picture it. It speaks volumes about wanting that normalcy.
The fact that he was so rarely photographed with her kind of fueled speculation, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely. People joked maybe she made him up.
She even put him on her '69 album cover, My Blue Ridge Mountain Boy, partly to prove he was real, but it's a very subtle picture.
It is. Almost dreamlike. It showed he was central to her world, just not the public part of it.
And she fiercely protected his desire for that quiet life. Understood that fame wasn't for him.
That mutual respect seems absolutely key, doesn't it? Respecting those fundamental differences.
Like bedrock. And then for their 50th anniversary,
They renewed their vows at home. Very private, very them.
and Dolly finally got to wear the big, fancy wedding dress she'd dreamed of as a girl.
Ah, that's lovely. And that inspired the song Forever Love on her Pure and Simple album.
Shows that the romance was still very much alive after all those years.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Something else they were open about was not having children.
Right. Apparently they assumed they would early on. They even had a name picked out.
Carla, if it was a girl.
But it didn't happen, and Dolly's perspective on it is quite something.
That feeling that maybe God didn't mean for me to have kids, so everybody's kids could be mine.
Like her purpose was broader through her imagination library and everything else.
And she also reflected that maybe she would have given up her career if she'd become a mother back then.
Which is a huge thought. The path not taken.
But she seems very connected to her family, nieces, nephews.
Oh, hugely. Family is clearly central. And she mentioned that later in life, both she and Carl felt maybe it was okay they didn't have kids to worry about.
A sense of peace with how things turned out.
Yeah, finding contentment in their life together, just the two of them.
And it's often those little everyday things that show the depth of love, isn't it?
Like Carl bringing her daffodils every spring.
Yes, with a little poem he'd written. Just a small, consistent gesture.
So sweet. It speaks volumes. And just being happy with simple dates, simple places.
He accepted her, glitter and all, but loved the person underneath. That comes across so strongly.
So wrapping up this deep dive, it feels like the main takeaway is just the depth and endurance of their love.
Absolutely. A love that navigated such different worlds, her intense public life, his chosen privacy.
And it worked because of mutual respect, shared simple joys.
And now seeing Dolly navigate this next phase with, well, strength, gratitude, and still finding purpose in her work.
Yeah, the aha moment for me is really that contrast, the megastar and the intensely private partner.
And how his quiet support was maybe the crucial anchor she needed. It really powered her, didn't it?
It seems like it. And their connection, you feel it so strongly in her music, especially now.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
About all the different shapes love and partnership can take.
And how they can last, even under really extraordinary circumstances.
So the final thought maybe is, what does forever love truly look like when it's lived out over 60 years, balancing intense fame with profound privacy?
A powerful question to leave us with. What does that deep personal connection mean against the backdrop of such a public life? Something to definitely ponder.